It's the July edition of Brunch with Margo and Friends, and we're taking a look at franchising. Arba Cooper's here, a former electrical engineer who is now a franchise owner. Yes, she actually bought a networking group. Didn't know you could do such a thing. She's going to take us into Vision Doers. How is her training there at Vision Doers changing the world and the lives of entrepreneurs everywhere? But before we get into that conversation, this month's sponsor is podcastacademyonline.com. Imagine, build, and launch your podcast. It's really not hard with the right amount of information and accountability. Help you build, monetize, and show up on all of the major podcast directories like Spotify and Apple. The Academy offers 3 different classes where you build your podcast in 30 minutes. There are classes on demand, or you can deep dive and take the 8-week virtual instructor-led class. Visit podcastacademyonline.com. Let's develop your podcast. She is a chapter owner of Network Lead Exchange, and which is a franchise. I definitely want you to talk about this thing of franchising, because when we're going into entrepreneurship, sometimes we don't think about that. Sometimes I don't think about that. And your chapter name is Vision Doers. Like I said, you are big on training. And when I was able to, thank you very much, to sit in and listen in on one of your trainings, you had an outside speaker come in. I learned a lot, and I had a chance to find my way around your territory. So welcome. You are not a newbie to the world of business. So take us, where did this all begin with the websites and everything?
Well, now that I'm going to begin with the end in mind, because many times we don't know the path that God has us on when we're young. And it may not come until you get in your latter years and you get some gray hair that you really piece everything together. And I've loved technology ever since middle school was where I really enjoyed it and loved it. And so much to the fact, well, I love technology, but I also love other things. Like I was a cheerleader, I was on the track team, I was in the drama club. So a lot of different things. And all of that awarded me to be able to get a full academic scholarship to Howard University. And I had my choices. I actually had choices of schools to go to, but all of this will make sense in a minute. That so I was born and raised in a small town outside of Buffalo, suburb of Buffalo, primarily white, and to be able to excel as a young black girl in an all white school was an accomplishment. So when I had the opportunity to choose what school I wanted to go to, when I chose Howard, my parents were actually pretty shocked, because they thought they felt like, how am I going to adapt? Because I've been raised in this all white community, and but I felt strongly that there's got to be other smart black people in this world, So that's what started me on this journey, that I got my degree in electrical engineering. And throughout my career, I was with HP, very obviously really good company. And I excelled into the 6 figures. But that whole time, I just kept feeling like, what is my purpose? What is my purpose? I didn't have any student loans. I was quite financially well off. And I also had a family at that time. So anyway, there was an opportunity. A friend of mine needed some business cards. That's how it all started. She needed some business cards. And I used my marketing skills to not just do some business cards. I did a little marketing promo for her. And it ended up that not only did that help her, but then the other hairstylists were asking, who did your business cards? And she was like, oh, it's one of my clients, but this is not her business. She's an engineer, whichever. And so it ended up, I started helping all of these hairstylists, and I loved it. I loved it more than my job. I was like, just being able to help them grow their business. So another blessing that God gave me, again, I can look back and see, was that we owned our home in California. So y'all are all in California. So this was back in 2000, and where the housing prices were still crazy, that you could buy low, sell high. So I decided to leave my full-time job, six-figure full-time job, and I was in my 30s, and at that time we had 5 children, because I had like, before I got married, I had mine, then he had his, which was 3, and then we had 1 together. So and so I know about, so step back a little bit, I know about being a single mother, because I was a single mother before I met him. Then I know about raising a small family, a young family, while having a business. So anyway, we took advantage of the housing, and we sold our house. When I decided to leave HP, we sold our house and took that money along with my stock options, my 401k, and moved to Atlanta. And that was awesome. Atlanta, the culture, the Black entrepreneurial culture in Atlanta is just awesome. So I started building my business, and it started with, I taught myself web design. And so when I was doing web design, and then I actually purchased, this was my first franchise that I purchased was in Atlanta. And it was doing a publication. So this was back when people still did a lot of print ads. And I purchased a publication, purchased the opportunity or whatever to do the publication. I'm going to talk about what franchising is in a minute. And so I did, and it was called Atlanta Wedding Ideas. And so I printed, it was monthly, it was a monthly little publication. And I printed 10,000 a month and distributed them throughout Atlanta. Well, my advertisers, again, were all small. Now, I don't even use the word small business. They were all entrepreneurs. Mm-hmm. They made cakes. People who own gown shops, like Kenesha was saying, little small, gowns, the caterers, DJs. So these were all like just entrepreneurs. They weren't big companies or whatever. And what I noticed is they knew nothing about marketing. I was like, come on, you got to, when I would do their ad, they didn't even really know, their branding. So stuff like, what's your branding and who's your target market? And, they didn't know any of that. So I started a monthly, at that time it was monthly. I was doing a monthly networking meeting where all of my advertisers, part of their advertising is you need to come to my monthly meetings and learn more about marketing. So it started with that, and then other people were joining in and coming, and then soon they would become advertisers and so forth. So anyway, that was going really well for 8 years, but I put my everything into my business. And when I say I mean my everything, it was like, my husband, my business was first, husband, secondary, kids or whatever. So with that, I ended up getting a divorce, and there was many other factors behind that. And also I had put everything, and this was 2008. Yeah, 2008 when this happened. So that was when the big housing crisis. So we had a beautiful 4,000 foot square home. 4,000 foot square home. So that got foreclosed. When they called me about repossessing my car, I was already living in an apartment separate from my husband. And when they called me, I said, you know what? you can pick up your car in the driveway of my foreclosed house. The keys are under the mat, So I was like, God, what's happening? What's going on? Again, I didn't know then, but fast forward to now is that God has given me so much opportunity to be able to relate to so many business owners, entrepreneurs, because of the life that I have lived. So I'm in a total give back stage of my life right now. So what brought me into franchising for the second time is that I was getting my finances in order, and I had took part of something. I'll tell you all, you need to look into this program called D-Free, dfree.org. That is my life. It's a life changer. It is a program. Everybody's heard of Dave Ramsey, but D-Free is designed for us, relates to us. And it talks about our habits and our things that have gotten us into the state that we're in. And it talked about, so first you got to learn just briefly, D-Free is all about getting out of debt, delinquencies, and deficiencies, and moving towards deeds, deposits, and I forget the last one, whatever. I remember. I used to quiz my husband on it, but now I'm getting excited. But anyway, through that, it's a whole program. It's like a 12-step program. It's free. Okay, it's free. So the reason I'm promoting it and saying it is because it's free, and it's changed my life. So it talked about the wealth gap and why it exists. And so they bring in guest speakers. So there was a guest speaker. Part of the program is talking about how do you make more money? If you're on a job, you're getting paid you're getting paid money for time for money. And there's only so much time you have. So if you're really trying to create wealth, then you need to have a business. Now, I knew all about having a business. Yeah. So they brought in this guest speaker, and he was talking about franchising. And he was saying that if you want to have a business, get franchising. See, people don't realize when they hear franchising, they're thinking McDonald's, Subway, or Hilton. I don't know. They're thinking all of these big, unachievable types of businesses. So there are people who teach franchising or who offer franchise consultants. They do that as a living. And they do it for free because they make their money if you purchase the franchise. So I met with this consultant, and what he does is he looks at your personality. He looks at your personality, your business experience, and they have all of this stuff because he offers like 600 different opportunities. And then he comes back to you and says, based on your personality and your experience, here's some businesses that I think you'll do well with. And so when I looked at the list, I saw network marketing, network. I said, so again, it's like what you don't know. It's all about what you're not exposed to, what you don't know. I was like, how could a networking group be a franchise? And there's several. So Network Lead Exchange isn't the only one. So I looked at it and I was like, wow, it's an opportunity to have my own chapter, to work with people, which I love to do, and of course, make money. So that's what got me into Network Lead Exchange. And so my chapter is my primary purpose of my chapter is training. If you join my chapter, then I'm going to make sure that you understand marketing. And then as you were there, Margo, and Deborah was there too. I'll bring in guest speakers and, to talk about anything that I don't know about. I don't know everything. So I bring in guest speakers so that I can still learn, glean, and my members can glean, and you can come on as a guest. You can visit us 2 times as a guest. And I'm loving it. So I'm loving it. I'm hearing from God on a daily basis, and I know that I'm on purpose.
And I want to add to that, because that is actually how Arba and I met. I have attended hers and we'll be joining. We've already had that discussion, so that's going to happen. But I also belong to Network Lead Exchange, and I belong to the women's only. Here we go again with that women's only stuff.
Yeah.
And I've taught them to say, and some men are welcome. But we have a mastermind group. We meet on Monday mornings. And the other groups, for the most part, are industry specific. The women's group is not. And I've had the opportunity, I didn't buy a franchise, but I did buy a leadership position in the group. And so, again, we're learning business at a different pace. When I think in terms of franchises, I don't have the money to invest in that, and what I'm watching other people do is for instance, they took the leadership piece and it costs a certain amount of money and they divided it by 5 because there are 5 leaders and we only paid our portion. Well, the portion ended up being very small, but it allows me to attend all the meetings that the owners go to because I'm a part owner.
Right.
And so what is really important to me, and then it's back to Arba's turn, but I just have to share this. As women of color, we are many times not exposed to this, or people of color. We didn't understand that's how other people were doing business. We just saw the bigger picture and thought it was something that we could not obtain. And learning that there are different ways. So that little small investment I made was really small, but what it does is gives me high profile. And as I explained, because we're getting ready for our convention, I would rather be a big fish in a small pond. So in the small pond of women franchisees and people, members, I'm a big deal there. And you talk about the whole big thing, no, not so big. But in the part that I'm in, pretty big deal. So back to you, Arba. I'm sorry, but I just wanted to make that connection because I just think it's so important.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I mean, obviously, I could talk without any questions, but I'd rather answer some questions. I mean, if there's something that, well, I do want to say this. So we meet every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern. So that would be 2 p.m. Pacific. My chapter is actually, it's called hybrid. It means that I have people that log in from all over, as well as because I believe so much in our community. And I'm there, I'm at a community center in Buffalo, New York. And so I have people that actually come to the community center. But because of technology, I'm able to interact with the people on Zoom as well as the people that are in the room. So on this Tuesday, we are having Dr. Donna Bellinger. Yes, Dr. Donna Bellinger is going to be talking about sales for people who hate to sell. And then, I have a whole, on my website, there are so many people that are supporting me. And yes, I am a Black woman, but my group is not a Black woman's only group. It's not a woman's group. It's not a Buffalo group. It's whoever believes in the vision. And Vision Doers is about people who have a clear goal that they want to achieve and will do what it takes to get there. That's what Vision Doers is. I don't care what color, what gender, whatever. Come on. And so that's why I intentionally have guest speakers of all types.
Mm-hmm.
and so that we can all learn. And so you can go to my website, visiondoers.com, and you can see I've got so many people that are and I thank you so much, Margo, for letting me do this podcast, because I'm realizing the value of podcasts. The Diva let me do a podcast, and I've got speakers scheduled all the way up until October. So that's how much this is taking off. And I'm thankful. I am very thankful to God for putting me in this position for such a time as this, because all of these underserved businesses need to be seen, because what's happening, there's so many good businesses and that people don't know about because they're not marketing, and so both are losing. People are losing.
Mm-hmm. You know what, Arba, what I love about what you're doing is that the members of your chapter. And so many times people are talking about, I can do this and I can do that. And we can't hide in the hair of them. What is your digital footprint? What are you in print? Are you in digitally found? Something's way off. But when it comes to your chapter members, those folks. So they come with a firm backing, as if, unless you just off the rails. But for most part, a person that we can trust, a person who's a part of your chapter. That's what I come away with. And that is a godsend, because everybody's talking in this world and you don't know who the heck, where to throw your money. And sometimes it's not the right choice. So kudos to you for that. And that's
why the other thing too is with me. And again, I'm looking today, and then I look back and I see how it all made sense. I see all the breadcrumbs. If you Google me, if you just go Arba Cooper, you'll see my footprint. So I'm not just coming up here and saying, hey, join my chapter. I can teach you marketing, blah, blah, blah. No, it's like, wow, she really, and you know what? And no, I'm not on TV yet. I'm not on mainstream yet, so people may be like, well, who is she? But again, there's people that they can pay their way to get on TV and to get their name out there. But then, you go to Google them and what's their history? You don't see it. One thing about the internet, it's going to follow you. Okay. You can research. There was, I just want to tell you another thing of how, again, God is telling me I'm on purpose, and how, how the internet is powerful. I was in I don't care. I'm transparent. I've learned to put my business out there, because that's how you reach people. That's how you connect. And I was in a credit situation, a debt situation, whatever, where this is when I was on the upcome from where I had already came from. I thought I'm doing good. And I get a letter in the mail saying that my wages are going to be garnished. I'm like, what? How are they going to, what is this? And so again, it's about being informed. So it was a company that had bought some old debt and sent it to an address 5 years ago. So basically they were just within the statute of limitations. So basically, to get to where I was saying is that I'm all stressed out. Oh my God. So I'm trying to find a lawyer that's going to help me. How could they do this? Most of the lawyers, they were just trying to tell me, because they came in there. When I came in there, I'm some Black woman. They don't know my past. They don't know I had great credit, and it went down, and I'm back on the up. Not, I'm sorry, I can't do nothing about this. You're gonna have to pay, blah, blah. Anyway, I finally met this guy, and a white guy, because I see no color when it comes to helping with, and he took on my case because he believed me. He said, I believe you, because you could tell an educated person. Okay. So he was like, I'm not sure. So he took on my case basically. And we won the case. And however, he researched me. So here's what I come to find out. We had that first meeting where he said he would take on my case. And on that second meeting, he said, I researched you. You all over the internet. And he was like, by the way, I see that you are a part of this theater, a Black theater renovation, a historic theater. He says, I have a love for theater. Can you connect me with that organization? And so it ends up that this lawyer that helped me, I was able to connect him with, again, it's a Black organization, but he wanted to be a part of it and still is till today.
Wow.
So
that's a testimony. We try. I know Deb does, and I know that I do. We try to tell people you had better be found. You can't just stay under the wire. If people can't research and find you, and hey, if we research people, we have to know that people are going to be checking into how deep does this thing go. And if you put a date out there, we better be able to trace back to that date.
Right.
Bottom line. What magazines have you been on? Have you done a TEDx conversation? All of this stuff. And that's the beauty of being able to move about in this thing of the internet and that type of thing. So I'm looking at the time, and I could go on and on and on. My final question for everybody as we're wrapping this thing up is, anybody have any last thoughts? Because we only do this brunch thing once a month, and it's like, woo, I hate to quit. I knew it was going to be good. Deb, didn't you know it was going to be good today?
Oh, absolutely. I knew the people you were going to have on, and we always have a good time. I think that because everybody has so many things going on, and we've got our fingers and toes in all kinds of different pies, but there's some basic things. And when you start talking to real people who are transparent, who are doing something, okay, it's like, wow, we do have a lot of questions. What else can we learn? My thing is always, how do I collaborate with you? Because I am not in competition with anybody, but I will collaborate with everybody. What do we do next to help the Gowns and Gardens? One, I'm going to go over there and look and see about getting my ticket, because Margo and I got to work that out. That's one thing. Okay, but how do we go beyond that? How do we help?
Brunch with Margo and Friends is a live stream. We stream live once a month, always the last Sunday of each month. Entrepreneurs and podcasters getting together, sharing our ideas, sharing shop talk. And did I say sharing ideas? And we don't always see eye to eye, but we share ideas and insight. We're looking for guests. If you are interested, go over to my website, gobeyondtheinterview.com. There is a contact us box there. Fill it out. Let me know that you want to guest on the show, and someone will get back with you. Never any guarantees. We like to interview people before they come on. Do know that this is an unedited live stream. We will not edit anything out of these live streams. So do know that before you get in contact with us, and take a listen to other episodes so that you know that we are a good fit for you, and we'll determine whether or not you are a good fit for us. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.